Hello, everybody. It's week 8 of the Chemical Toilets Fantasy Show. Glad you could be here. Hope you all enjoy. Let's get to it.
The only thing worse than the Tyler Starr snap story is the Tyler Schmidt fantasy victory for Denver, as the commissioner took him down this week 137 to 125. The newest stack of the league saw Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry go for 45 points, which was just enough to get me a much-needed win and keep my playoff dreams alive. Denver had the right players on his bench to get the win, but chose incorrectly, similar to his decision of coming to town to watch a football game. Denver will have one more day to try and get a trade done. He has been shopping players all year, but no one has accepted any of his deal. Will that change in the next 24 hours? We will see. Colton looked to choke out his competition early as he jumped to a nice lead Thursday and continued to put it on Cody as he said, "I'm going to watch Devontae and Marvin go for 20, get a Gatorade, and eat that ass." In true fantasy show karma, as soon as I call out Mostert, he goes off. Maybe they should call him must start. But no, Cody, I still don't want him. With Pacheco coming back from the IR, it will be interesting to see if Cody tries to move some of those Chiefs players or hope that Pat Mahomes is back after one of his best performances of the year. Bonehead Boys said take your bonehead of the week and shove it, as his newly acquired players went for a combined 29 points, and that was without Hawkinson. It looks like it could be the tank show in Houston for the next few weeks, as Diggs left with an injury, which is both good and bad for Frankie. Josh, sitting comfortable from the first place position, decided to trade away another piece of his good team for 2 players from Ike's thriving team, which cost him a win this week, and maybe much more. What is that I see? Is that the sun? Is it rising to the east? Joe couldn't pull off the Monday Night Miracle against Logan as his team finished with the L yet again. In a non-surprising call by me, CJ Stroud has taken a step back this year, and some are even calling it a sophomore slump. The uninspiring quarterback play has helped Joe drop to 11th place. Joe will look to spotlight his next opponent, as that seems to be the only way he can take someone or something down. Logan chickened out and did not go with the 2 tight end play on tight end day and left some points on the bench. But nonetheless, he got the win. A late game scratch by Dowdle had Logan getting the old vet and Zeke saying feed me, as this one helps him leapfrog Chance and say, "Hey Chance, how's my ass?" The champ does it again as Mr. Monday Night gets it done with some late game heroics by Malik Neighbors. But another week, another injury, as Jordan Love getting hurt might have Jeremy turning to the wire for a quarterback yet again. Ike's team has gotten drastically better as Stevenson and Olave both entered the chat, putting up 29 points. And the addition of JSN, Thomas, and Hubbard has Ike not looking like the layup of the past. We'll see if he can pull a miracle and run the table like the Bengals, or if he made the moves too late in the year. I told Lakin about the side bet between Jeremy and Ike, and she said, "Oh no, is it the whole finger?" I said, "Not to worry, dude. It's the one next to it." The old married couple was our final matchup as Chance got caught with his pants down, hoping Robinson could give him a Monday Night Miracle. Sky said, "I never said you were naked," putting up the most points of the week despite a disappointing game from Cooper. Chance was the first to point out how lucky Sky was this week, yet he left 55 points on his bench. You hate to see the better team lose. I know after the last 3 years everyone is rooting for Chance. We don't want to see him in the last place game. It's just getting sad.
It was a pretty weak week for plug and plays with really only 3 members available and only 2 of them getting wins. But nonetheless, the show must go on. Our first ever plug and play of the week goes to Logan for being on top of it and putting in Zeke for Dowdle. Zeke for Dowdle was a 10-point difference, which was exactly what he needed to get the win, and was also the biggest point swing for a waiver player replacing an usual starter. So congrats, Logan. Let's talk trades in our newest segment of the week, Trade Talk. We will start with the trade that actually took place, and that was Lockett and Higgins for Thomas Jr. Usually when a first place owner makes a trade with the last place owner, the first place owner gets, the first, second best player from the last place. Last place gets 2, 3, maybe even 4 decent pieces for their team. But that's not what happened in this trade. We saw Josh trade away, in my opinion, his fourth best player on his team. I mean, if you go strictly points wise, it's actually third, but I think we can all agree Brown is a better player than Thomas. For Higgins and Lockett, Higgins has underperformed, and maybe with Richardson getting benched and Joe coming in, he might actually do a lot better. Okay, I can see that, but that is still a risk. And why would Josh give up JSN to then just trade back for Tyler Lockett, an older version of JSN? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, Thomas did end up getting a little bit hurt. So if he misses some time, Josh will probably benefit from that. But right now, I'm going to have to give the edge to Ike. I think he got a better deal. And it just didn't make a lot of sense for me that Josh was the one who offered this. We'll check back on this trade a couple weeks from now. But as of now, like I said, I'm giving Ike the win with my gut reaction. And our second trade was between myself and Sky. We made a massive 6-player trade, the rare 4 for 2. I received Scary Terry, Madison, Kareem Hunt, and Jalen Waddle, and I gave up Tyreek and Bowers. Sky was able to get the superstars out of the deal, but I was able to get 4 solid players that helped me get a much-needed win with Evans and Metcalf being hurt this week. Ultimately, I decided to go through with it because I believe in Ingram. I think he'll be a good tight end. And I know that if Tua gets hurt and I had Tyreek on my team, I would be screwed. Like potential last place screwed. So I took a Logan type move and traded away most of my team to ultimately get a brand new team. I'll give myself the edge right now simply because my guys scored touchdowns this week and the Sky's did not. But if Hunt and Madison lose major work to White and Pacheco, then Sky might have gotten a steal of this trade. And finally, to finish up trade talks, it was the trade that was not taken. I did have a few submissions, but our top submission was Denver offering Jameson Williams and Keenan Allen for CeeDee Lamb. Yep, that's right. Denver, you offered the 36th ranked wide receiver and the 77th ranked wide receiver for the 4th ranked wide receiver. Nice trade, bud. That music cues the Bonehead Move of the Week. The Bonehead Move of the Week goes to the member who left not 1, but 2 different players on his bench that could have gotten him the win. For some reason, Chance thinks super highly of Robinson and chose to go with him instead of Tracy or Ladd McConkey. I don't blame him for not going with Tracy, as similar to Robinson, that was a tough matchup. But Ladd against New Orleans, who had the 7th most points for a wide receiver, that's a no-brainer to me, man. If anyone was going to play a white receiver, I thought it would be you. So nice job, ya bonehead. Chance would like to also add that 6 of the last 8 weeks he played against the top 3 scorers.